Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel. I have been talking about card kits for the whole year because it has been a line item on my crafty goals goal list. And so several of you had said, once you put a kit together, would you mind sharing it? And so that's what I am doing today. I went through my stash and I found some papers that I could make several of the same card kits from, and I have come up with a layout and got all my pieces together. So before I got everything packaged up and taken to Whispering Willow Tree, which is the local handmade boutique that we sell some items in here near Indianapolis, and so I wanted to share these real quick before I did that. So I have a pad in my stash that I picked up at a garage sale for $2. It is a Paper Studios pad, and it's kind of like a vintage feel, and it was untouched. I hadn't done anything with it yet, and there are, I want to say like maybe there's 4 sheets of each pattern, and maybe there's 12 patterns to still make it a 48 sheet pad, but there are several sheets of the same pattern. And so I decided that one would be perfect to make card kits, because it is something that if it's a popular kit that I can easily reproduce. Whereas sometimes you're limited to the patterns that you have, like you can only make 1 or 2. So this one would be a great one to kind of mass produce for me. So I went through the pad, found some patterns that were like more of a solid or that would make a good card mat. And I trimmed all of those down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I went through, and the rest of the patterns became like a focal point on the card. And I even utilize scraps from, what I had cut down in the cards as well. So there are 2 of each design. So here's another one of the patterns. This one is my favorite. I love the poinsettia. And then for the sentiment, I've just printed off a sentiment from my silhouette because I'm mass producing. It's just quicker for me. But I did come in and color in the little holly leaves here with a green distress marker, just to add a little color. So I have 6 different layouts, 2 cards of each. And then I'll kind of show you all of the different elements. And then these circles are actually vinyl circles that I had cut from scrap vinyl that were in my stash. And so I figured I could include those as well. So what my kit will include, I have pre-printed, all of the sentiments, and I've gone ahead and trimmed them down, colored them in, I rounded the corners. So each kit is going to be for 12 cards, and so there are 12 sentiments. And I have 12 craft card bases, the A2, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 that are cut, scored, and ready to go. I have my 12 card mat pieces, which I said were 4 by 5 1/4. And I just figured that for me, having one that doesn't cover the whole card makes it easier to, it gives you a little more leeway as far as like being able to get it straight and get it on there. And I know, like, in helping my daughters craft too, because I tried to make these cards kind of for a beginning crafter, or it could be, an experienced crafter that just wants some quick cards. That's fine too. But watching my daughters try and, line things up, I feel like this is just a good 4 by 5 1/4 is a good card mat size that it's easy to figure out, how much to have an equal amount of space all around the card. So anyway, that's one reason why I went with 4 and 5 by 5 1/4 for this mat size, but also it allowed me to get more mats out of each sheet of paper. And then I have 12 of the rectangle elements, and these are 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And so they're like perfect size. And I did not include any mats for these. This is just, kind kind of a quick card to put together. So then I took, when you cut down your card mats, you get, there's about what are these? These are about 3/4 of an inch. So there was an 1.5 inch strip left at the top. And so I took those and trimmed them in half. So each of these are about 3/4 of an inch wide. And these are the strips that are going to go behind the rectangle element. And so what I did is I just kind of mixed and matched. I just made sure that, it was a different pattern than my card mat and maybe something that kind of helped accent the rectangle element. But this is going to be in a kit, so people can kind of mix and match as they choose, but those are the 3 main pattern pieces. And then I have my sentiment, like I said, my card mats, and then I need to cut some more of these, but I'm going to include these as well in lieu of enamel dots. I just thought this is something I can easily reproduce and I can have in abundance. So each kit will also come with 12 or 24 of these vinyl circles that they can include on their card. So that actually left me, the only scraps I had from all of this were these squares, or they're mostly square. So 3 by 3 1/4. And so I'm trying to figure out if I want to come up with another card layout that I can use these on as well and maybe have a separate kit. But that's the only scrap I had left. So that worked out really well as far as, using up a bunch of full sheets of paper. So just wanted to share that is one variation, and I like this one just because I like the vintage feel, but I know not everybody is that way. So I also came up with another layout, and this one is from, I don't remember where the pad is from, I should have brought it over, but there are 3 sheets of each design in this one, and I think it was like a 180 sheet pad, so it's thinner paper. And so this one I'm limited to the number that I can make of each design. So I pulled in some cardstock, solid colored cardstock for these. So again, I have an A2 size card base. This time it's white, and then I have 6 green card mats that are 4 by 5 1/4 again, and then I decided to mat the pattern paper on this one, and so my mat is, I think, 4 1/4 by 4, or 4.5 by 3 1/4. So it's similar in size to this one, but the pattern paper piece then would be 3 by 4 1/4. And so that allowed me to get a bunch of them out of each pattern paper sheet. And then I was hoping to include some more actual embellishments on this, but it was going through my stash. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find enough of anything that worked with the colors. So I just went back to my silhouette, printed out a sentiment, and this time I did it more in a circle layout so that I could take a 2-inch scallop punch and punch out the sentiment. And then here, again, I was just trying to use up some of the scraps that I ended up having left of my cardstock pieces. And so I just took a strip of white, and it is, I know it's 4 inches wide by about 3/4, or 4 inches long by 3/4 of an inch wide. And then I had some thinner strips of the colored cardstock, and so it's about 1/2 inch wide by 4 inches long. And so I just layered those up and then added my sentiment on top of there. And then in this layout there are white vinyl circles. So for these I did 6 of this design, and then there was a coordinating, it's different words, but kind of a coordinating pattern that was in a green, and so I did red behind those. And then this is just another sentiment I printed from my silhouette and also punched out with the scallop. So for these kits, again, they're going to be 4 12 cards, And they will have the 12 card bases, the 12 card mats, and then there's 12 pattern paper pieces, 6 of each color, and then 12 sentiments, 6 of each design, so they can kind of mix and match those if they'd like. And then I have 12 of my white strips, and then 6 each of the cardstock strips. And then I will also have some white vinyl circles in each kit of this one as well. I just need to cut some more. And so this is one of those that will be a little more limited in quantity because I came up with 3 kits. Plus, I always like to make a set ahead of time, 1, so I can get some pictures, and 2, just so I can kind of test the layout and the process of putting them together. But I did get a total of 3 kits of this one, and that would be all I can get. So I can, maybe in the future, if this is a popular one, I can always change up the pattern paper in the middle and kind of reproduce this kit, but that's it for these papers. So anyway, I am going to package these using some clear bags, and I'll probably package some of them like in individual, like smaller baggies, just to keep things together. And I should have brought it over. Sorry, I'm unprepared this morning. But I had found some heavy-duty glue sticks on Amazon. They are Scotch, I think, brand. And when I came up, I had come up with a card kit in the spring and kind of treated it as a beginner level kit. And so as far adhesive, I figured glue stick would be a good place to start, because not everybody's comfortable with wet glue and not everybody's comfortable with a tape runner of some sort. So I thought glue stick, but I wanted something more than just a normal glue stick. So I had found these heavy duty ones, and I'm going to try to include one of those in each kit. So really, it's all inclusive, like they have everything they need. Oh, and I'm going to include envelopes for all kits too. I didn't bring those over, but they'll have everything they need to make 12 cards for Christmas. So if somebody's just looking for something creative to do, something different, something more hands-on and handmade, this year everybody's wanting to do something just a little bit more extra special because of the crazy year it's been, then they have everything they need. If a more experienced crafter gets one of these, then they can easily switch out and, use their own adhesive. That's fine. But I just thought I would make it easy for someone who doesn't have any of the supplies to be able to sit down and make 12 cards. So then I will also include pictures of the finished card, and I'm trying to decide on this one, since it's pretty simple cards, if I want to include instructions or just, let them go. So we'll see. I haven't figured that out yet. And as far as pricing, I'm not totally sure. I'm thinking, since they're fairly simple cards, like maybe $10 to $12 for the kit. But I haven't, again, fully decided on that. And this is being sold at through, I'm doing the boutique pricing, so that's just a little bit higher than what this might sell on Etsy or at a craft show or locally, so otherwise. But anyway, just wanted to share how I made the kit in case anybody else was interested, and this is a great stash buster. That's why I really wanted to try and do these, because it's a really quick way to use up my stash without me having to necessarily use it all. So glad I was able to get some Christmas kits done, and I'd like to come up with some more general kits as well. I have an order for more of a child's project kit, so that's my next project. So anyway, just wanted to share the kit. Sorry, I'm getting a little rambly, but if you have any questions on anything, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you guys can maybe take this and do your own version of it, and maybe have some kits that you can use for yourself, gift for the holidays, or you can make them to sell in the future if we ever get back to craft shows. So thank you guys so much for your time today. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I hope you're all having a very crafty day.